Hello and welcome to Lavenders Light Divination. Today we are conducting a reading to find out what is their rising sign. So if you have a person in mind and you don't know their ascendant sign and you would like to find it out, then please come and participate with us in this reading and find out what their ascendant sign is. Okay, so we have 12 cards from the major arcana here today, which all depict one of the 12 zodiac signs. So if you want to participate in this reading, I want you to think about your crush, think about their personality and how they interact with everyone on a day-to-day basis, and pick a card that you think resonates with their personality. If you are having difficulty picking from so many cards, you can just think of a number from 1 till 12 and use that number to pick the card. Just choose a number that you think resonates with the personality of your crush. From the top left, we have the cards 1, 2, 3 all the way to 6, and in the second row we have the cards 7, 8, 9 all the way to 12. If you are attracted to more than one card, then know that you are going to have a set of different signs, and then you are going to have to choose one from those signs based on whichever personality resonates the most with your crush. I will give some details for each of these signs. So take your time now and choose a card or cards. Okay, so have you chosen? Let's start with the reading. If you chose card number 1, you got the Lovers card and stands for the sign of Gemini. So if you chose this card, chances are that your crush has Gemini rising in their chart. You would find that they often talk a lot, they use their hands a lot to explain everything, and they are very good at explaining things. They may make a lot of hand gestures and they have a lot of different interests, and you always find them talking to someone or involved in some sort of new activity. Okay, so that's it for card number 1. Now let's look at card number 2. If you chose card number 2, you got the Justice card, which stands for the sign of Libra. So if you chose this card, then chances are that your crush is a Libra rising. Libra rising are very civil, proper and charming people. They make excellent party hosts and they know how to talk to everyone because they're very polite, very civil, and they are very good at taking care of their bodies. They have excellent dressing. So if you think your crush is like that, if you think that your crush always dresses nicely and they are very good at taking care of their bodies, then chances are that your crush is a Libra rising. Okay, so that's it for card number 2. Now let's look at card number 3. If you chose card number 3, then you got the Strength card, which stands for the sign of Leo. So if you chose this card, then chances are that your crush is a Leo rising. And you would know that your crush is a Leo rising if they don't talk a lot, if they always are very self-assured and they have a lot of confidence about them. Leo rising are all about fake it till you make it type of personality. They are very generous. So if you find that your crush is always helping other people, doing things for them, or they are always giving something to somebody, then they are definitely a Leo rising. So if you think that your crush is always confident even in the most stressful situation, then chances are that he or she is a Leo rising. Leo rising also have a lot of hair. They have a very beautiful mane, and if they have dyed their hair, then most likely they will dye their hair blonde. So that is how you'll know that your crush is a Leo rising. So that's it for card number 3. Now let's go on to card number 4. If you chose card number 4, then you got the Star card, which stands for Aquarius. So if you chose this card, then chances are that your crush is an Aquarius rising, and you would know that your crush is an Aquarius rising if you find them very friendly and humanitarian, and they're always involved in all the humanitarian and charity projects. They're all about caring for people, caring for the environment. But Aquarius rising are also very distant up close. So if you find that someone is very friendly from a distance, but when you meet them up close, they seem friendly but a little bit emotionally detached, then you would know that they are an Aquarius rising. If your crush is very good at making jokes, but they are not that good at solving your emotional problems, then chances are that your crush is an Aquarius rising. So that's all I have for Aquarius rising. Now let's move on to card number 5. If you chose card number 5, you got the Emperor card, which stands for the sign of Aries. So if you chose this card, then chances are that your crush is an Aries rising. Aries rising are very confident and powerful people. They are very entrepreneurial and they are very aggressive and forward in nature, but they can also be a little bit blunt. So if you find that your crush is very aggressive, very powerful, into sports, but is also sometimes found offending people, then chances are that your crush is an Aries rising. So that's all I have for Aries rising. Now let's move on to the 6th card. If you chose card number 6, you got the Chariot card, which stands for the sign of Cancer. So if you chose this card, then chances are that your crush is a Cancer rising. And you would know that your crush is Cancer rising if they appear very shy from a distance and they appear to be very reserved, very quiet. But when you get to know them, you find out that they have a maternal nature. They're very good at taking care of others and they're very good at sorting out your emotions, listening to all your emotional problems, and they are very caretaking in their nature. So that's all I have for Cancer rising. If you feel that your crush relates with these qualities, then they could be a Cancer rising. So now let's move on to card number 7. If you chose card number 7, you got the Hierophant card, which stands for the sign of Taurus. So if you chose this card, then chances are that your crush is a Taurus rising. And you would know that your crush is a Taurus rising if they always appear very cool, calm and collected in every situation, and their whole personality is very centered, and it helps you feel calm and more at peace when you are around them. Taurus rising are often found at home because they always like to be very cozy. They wear very comfortable clothing, and people are completely jealous of how cozy and comfortable they always look in their clothing. And Taurus rising can also be very beautiful. They have a very beautiful face. So if your crush is like that, then they could be a Taurus rising. So that's all I have for Taurus rising. Now let's move on to the next card, card number 8. If you chose card number 8, you got the Death card, which stands for the sign of Scorpio. So if you chose this card, then chances are that your crush is a Scorpio rising. And you would know that your crush is a Scorpio rising if they always have an air of mystery around them, if they are very flirtatious and seductive in nature, but at times they can appear very brooding and secretive, and you definitely never know what they're up to because they never talk a lot and they never tell you about their plans. If you're always curious about what is going on in their mind, and if you feel that their emotions are a little bit intense, and if you feel that their fashion sense is all about is a reflection of their inner nature and it's just as intense as they are, then chances are that your crush could be a Scorpio rising. So that's all I have for Scorpio rising. Now let's move on to the next card, card number 9. If you chose card number 9, you got the Temperance card, which stands for the sign of Sagittarius. So if you chose this card, then chances are that your crush is a Sagittarius rising, and you would know that your crush is a Sagittarius rising if they have a very open and honest personality, and they're always found giving their personal opinion, which is very honest. They will talk to you about all topics that are related with their interests, which range from philosophy to politics to literature, but you will never find them having small talk with anyone. Sagittarius rising are also travelers at heart, and they're always ready for an adventure. So if you find that your crush is a breath of fresh air, then they could definitely be a Sagittarius rising. Okay, so that's all I have for card number 9. Now let's move on to card number 10. If you chose card number 10, you got the Hermit card, which stands for the sign of Virgo. So if you chose this card, then chances are that your crush is a Virgo rising, and you would know that your crush is a Virgo rising if you find that they have a very analytical and observant nature. Virgo rising are very shy and they are intimidated by large crowds. They are often found in the corners and they have a very nervous temperament. If you look at your crush and you always feel like they are thinking about something, or if they are observing their environment, then chances are that your crush could be a Virgo rising. Virgo rising are also very sensitive in their nature, and if you joke about them, then they could take your joke very seriously, as they are very sensitive to criticism. So if you feel that your crush is like that, then they could be a Virgo rising. Virgo rising also tend to stay very clean. So if you feel that your crush is very graceful, if they have a very good sense of hygiene, then they could be a Virgo rising. So that's all I have for Virgo rising. Now let's move on to the next card, which is card number 11. If you chose card number 11, you got the Devil card, which stands for the sign of Capricorn. So if you chose this card, then chances are that your crush is a Capricorn rising. Capricorn rising have a very serious personality. They are the kind of people who are most likely to ace job interviews because they appear like they have everything under control. If you feel that your crush has a very serious personality and the top interests include earning money, building a career, working hard, eating super healthy, going to the gym, and building their lifestyle to the ideal level, then they could be a Capricorn rising. So sometimes Capricorn rising do not know how to have fun and let loose. So if you feel like this sounds like your crush, then they could be a Capricorn rising. So that's all I have for Capricorn rising. Now let's move on to the last card, card number 12. If you chose card number 12, you got the Moon card, which relates with the sign of Pisces. So if you chose this card, then chances are that your crush is a Pisces rising. Pisces rising are very easygoing people. They are very shy and they are a little bit elusive with their heads in the cloud. They are often perceived to be very romantic in nature. They're very compassionate and they can pick up on other people's energies because they are very empathic. They have a lot of amazing qualities and they make amazing friends. Oftentimes it happens that Pisces rising have very beautiful eyes. So if you feel that your crush is a little bit emotional, shy, romantic, then they could be a Pisces rising. Okay, so that's all I have for Pisces rising, and I hope you enjoyed this video. So see you until next time.